Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming your way. Before we begin, we'd like to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the latest news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the team's most passionate fans. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Commanders rumors. The main stumbling block in Terry McLaurin's contract. Extension negotiations. The Commanders agree that Terry McLaurin needs a new contract, but they don't want to pay the hefty price tag. The Washington Commanders have an ongoing issue with Terry McLaurin. The star wide receiver made it clear this offseason that he wants a new contract, but without a deal in place, he decided to sit out training camp until he gets what he wants. According to NFL Network's lead insider Ian Rapoport, there's a fundamental problem preventing a deal from being finalized. Considering he's entering the final year of his 3-year, $68.3 million contract, it's no surprise that McLaurin wants a new deal. Add to that his consistently excellent production for the Commanders, and it's clear he deserves a raise. Washington doesn't dispute this point, but believes the money he's seeking, reportedly over $30 million per year, is simply too much to swallow. From what I understand, he wants over $30 million a year, Rapoport said on The Insiders. It's not a disagreement about whether he deserves more money, it's about how much, and they're certainly not there yet. The Commanders' front office needs to resolve Terry McLaurin's contract situation, considering McLaurin's importance to the Commanders' offense. It's clear this is a situation they need to resolve as quickly as possible. Last season, McLaurin caught 82 passes for 1,096 yards and 13 touchdowns, earning a Pro Bowl and second-team All-Pro honor. For second-year quarterback Jaden Daniels to continue developing, he'll need a top receiver like McLaurin at his disposal. Marshon Latimore could be the game-changer for the Commanders season. New NFL season promises to be a thrilling one for the Washington Commanders, and much of that could depend on the performance of one big name, Marshon Latimore. The newly arrived cornerback has the potential to be the team's defensive difference-maker, or a disappointment that jeopardizes their entire campaign. After 7 seasons with the New Orleans Saints, where he was selected to the Pro Bowl 4 times, Latimore joined the Commanders in November of last year as part of a trade that shook up the NFL. However, an injury limited him to just 2 regular season games, although he returned and played in all 3 playoff games. Now fully recovered, he enters his first full season with the Washington franchise, and expectations are sky-high. Latimore is considered the team's X-factor. According to ESPN analyst Seth Walder, Latimore was named the Commanders' top X-factor. For 2025, the player whose performance can determine the team's success or failure. During his limited time on the field last season, Latimore didn't show the same level of excellence that made him famous in New Orleans. But the Commanders need him to be that dominant player again. Walder noted that the pressure is on. With a pass rush still under construction, Washington's defense will rely heavily on the secondary to contain opposing passing attacks. Alongside Mike Sainristil and rookie Trey Amos, Latimore will be tasked with holding off the league's top receivers, often facing decisive matchups on third-down situations. The commander of the defense, Latimore, is expected to assume the role of leader in the secondary, a role the Commanders have been trying to fill with stability in recent years. His experience, game reading, and man-to-man coverage make him a key component of Dan Quinn's defensive system, if he can perform at his peak, physically and technically. As he did in previous seasons with the Saints, the Commanders' defense could become one of the most respected units in the conference. Preseason begins with a test of fire. The team has already begun its training camp, and the first major test will Be on August 8th at 7:30 p.m. ET at Gillette Stadium against Drake May and the New England Patriots. It will be the first real opportunity for fans to gauge Latimore's impact with more game time, and for him to show he's ready to lead the defense to a winning season. The Commanders quietly delivered the perfect solution to a forgotten flaw at just the right time. It wouldn't be a bad idea. If everything is as planned, Adam Peters is an aggressive roster builder. He's a key reason the Washington Commanders went from a slump to a runner-up after just 1 year under his leadership. He's also one of the reasons they're expected to make deep runs in the playoffs. Again, in 22-5. Peters won't hesitate to announce changes if he's not satisfied with what's happening. The general manager is a shrewd personnel evaluator who knows the Commanders are in immediate win mode. If that means shaking things up, it's a small price to pay for bigger fortunes. Everyone will have a chance to win their titles in training camp. But one notable development in the league will undoubtedly catch Peters' attention. In a somewhat surprising decision, the San Francisco 49ers released George Odom after 3 seasons. He arrived in free agency in 2022 when Peters held a prominent position in the front office, so it's not difficult to connect the dots. The Commanders could check out George Odom after his surprising release from the 49ers. Odom is a former All-Pro with a good football season ahead of him. Injuries have hampered his progress over the past 2 years, prompting San Francisco to take a different direction. He was recently placed on the non-football injury list due to an elbow complication that required surgery and is expected to be fully recovered in 6 to 8 weeks. This would upset him and keep him out of training camp, so anyone signing him would be taking a risk. Peters knows more about the veteran's safety than most, and he also has the physical profile typically associated with defensive backs in Dan Quinn's system. The Commanders have some minor concerns regarding their safety options for the season. Quan Martin is a legitimate candidate for a breakout star, but replacing Jeremy Chin with Will Harris can't be seen as anything other than a downgrade at this point. Unless someone like Jeremy Reeves, Tyler Owens, or Percy Butler has a meteoric rise in the coming weeks, Peters could easily decide more is needed. Much would depend on medical evaluations and rehabilitation progress, but checking on Odom wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. This also fits with the Commanders' current recruiting ethos. A series of disastrous picks by Ron Rivera has left Peters relying on experienced veterans on short-term contracts to fill the voids. That will change when the front office leader starts selecting good recruits, but it potentially puts Odom in the equation.